Welcome to this week's new book releases. These are the ones coming out on April Fool's Day, but this April 1st has some serious contenders for your TBR piles. We will talk about different genres with each of them separated by timestamps, as per usual. I'm Morgan, though. If this is your first time here, I hope you find something that you want to pick up. Getting us started this week is going to be a sequel to the In the Shadow of the Leviathan series, that is A Drop of Corruption by Robert Jackson Bennett. I think I can read at least part of the description for this one because it doesn't give away too much for the first book, really. In the canton of Yarrow, at the very edge of the Empire's reach, a treasury officer has disappeared into thin air, vanishing from a room within a heavily guarded tower, its door and windows locked from the inside. To solve the case, the Empire calls on its most brilliant and mercurial detective, the great Anna Dalbara. At her side, as always, is her bemused assistant, Denios Cole. This one is a Sherlock Holmes style where we are being not told a story, but our main character is Denios, as Den is going through the investigation, putting the pieces together for Anna. In the first book, though, he is just starting off as her assistant in this job of engraver, where this world itself and the Empire itself is quite different. For a fantasy world, this is going to be one without magic. Instead, they have this science kind of based system all around altering people in service to the Empire, only the citizens that, want to be in this role. And I should not go into depth on the Monday reviews. I'm going to stop going on about that series, though, because I can't do that for all of them, as this video would take forever, and also haven't read all of these series. The next one, though, is the finale to the Fallen Gods trilogy. That's the name of the trilogy. Faithbreaker by Hannah Kaner. In the epic finale, the fate of Midrin hangs in the balance as the mighty gods and mortal heroes clash in a final battle for supremacy. The first book, God Killer, starts. Kissen's family was killed by zealots of a fire god. Now she makes a living killing gods and enjoys it. That is, until she finds a god she cannot kill. Skidi, a god of white lies, has somehow bound himself to a young noble, and they are both on the run from unknown assassins. Joined by a disillusioned knight on a secret quest, they must travel to the ruined city of Belnrodden, where the last of the wild gods reside, to each beg a favor. While I missaid a lot of those things, this is a series that I've heard good things about, and I really still want to start it. We'll see if I can soon. Next, we have more of an urban fantasy. It's got to be urban fantasy. No, well, not those gritty vibes. Similar in the way that she writes urban fantasies. I'm using the word wrong. Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake. Where there's a will, there's a war. Thayer Wren, the brilliant CEO of Ren Frere Magatech and so-called father of modern technology, is dead. Any one of his 3 telepathically and electrokinetically gifted children could be a plausible inheritor to the Ren Frere throne. Or at least so they like to think. Meredith, textbook accomplished eldest daughter and the head of her own groundbreaking biotech company, has recently cured mental illness. Author, second youngest congressman in history, fights the good fight every day of his life. Eldest, once the world's most famous ballerina, has spent the last 5 years as a run-of-the-mill marketing executive at her father's company after a life-altering injury put an end to her prodigious career. On the pipeline of gifted kid to clinically depressed adult, nobody wins. But which Ren will come out on top? I mean, it's got decent sounding storyline. It's just with the author's writing style and how she pulls off things, I don't know. I still want to try some other work from her, so it's like a maybe. It's a maybe. We're moving on, though, into YA fantasies, yes, both of these are fantasies. The first up is The Notorious Virtues by Alwyn Hamilton. At 16, Nora Holtzenfall is the daughter of the most powerful heiress in all of Waltstand. Her family controls all the money and all the magic in the entire country. But despite being the center of attention, Nora has always felt like an outsider. When her mother is found dead in an alley, the family throne and fortune are suddenly up for grabs, and Nora will be pitted against her cousins in the Veritas, the ultimate magical competition for power that determines the one family heir. While the dangers of the Veritas competition threaten each of the Holtzfall girls, the stark class differences turns political outrage to terrifying violence. The new cousins must fight to stay alive, no matter what. I think there was also a secret sibling thrown into the mix, or maybe a secret cousin. There was another twist that I wanted to leave out of the major description, so not to give everything away, but there's another sibling and still familial bonds. It sounds complicated. Then we have a duology conclusion, The Hollow Hunt by Margie Fuston. This is the sequel to the Revenant games that came out last year. Blood is survival in Bly's world. Any human can compete in the Revenant games, an annual fight to the death between witches and vampires. The prize, resurrection or immortality. But Bly didn't bargain on her mortal enemy, a vicious vampire, being able to steal her heart. And she risked everything in the games to save her sister. Moving along into sci-fi, we're going to start with The Beauty of the End by Lauren Steinstra. Charlie Tanhill and her twin sister Maggie are just 8 years old when an unfortunate scientific discovery upends their world and the world order. The revelation? Extinction encoded in every creature's DNA. The expiration date for humans? Only 4 generations away. A decade later, unsure about what tomorrow holds, Charlie and Maggie enroll as counselors in a government-run human husbandry program. By offering cash rewards for reproduction, they hope to forestall humanity's decline and discover a genetic mutation that might defeat it. While Charlie struggles with the ethical implications of the work, Maggie makes unspeakable sacrifices to improve her odds of success. But such unchecked ambition could come at a greater cost than even she realizes. Very looking forward to being able to start that one. Probably not till May, though. Our next one is dystopian, near future sort. Where the Axe is Buried by Ray Naylor. Naylor? All systems fail, all societies crumble, all worlds end. In the authoritarian Federation, there is a plot to assassinate and replace the president, a man who has downloaded his mind into a succession of new bodies to maintain his grip on power. Meanwhile, on the fringes of Western Europe that has renounced human governance in favor of ostensibly more efficient, objective, and peaceful AI prime ministers, an experimental artificial mind is malfunctioning, threatening to set off a chain of events that may spell the end of the Western world. As the Federation and the West both start to crumble, Lila, a brilliant scientist whose invention may be central to bringing down the seemingly immortal president, goes on the run, trying to break out from the near impenetrable web of Federation surveillance. A lot of other characters at play too, but it seems to be all tied around Lila. Into mysteries this week, Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man by Jessie Q. Sitanta. Ever since a man was found dead in Vera's tea house, life has been good. For Vera, that is. She's surrounded by loved ones, her shop is bustling, and best of all, her son Tilly has a girlfriend. All thanks to Vera, because Tilly's girlfriend is none other than Officer Selena Gray, the very same Officer Gray that she harassed while investigating the tea house murder. Still, Vera wishes more dead bodies would pop up in her shop, but one mustn't be ungrateful, even if one is slightly bored. Vera is adorable and funny and so sweet. I like the first book so much. We move on from there though before I tell you too much about Vera and why she was just awesome. 2. Heartwood by Amity Gage. In the heart of the Maine woods, an experienced Appalachian trail hiker goes missing. She is 42-year-old Valerie Gillis, who was vanished 200 miles from her final destination. Alone in the wilderness, Valerie pours her thoughts into fractured, poetic letters to her mother as she battles the elements and struggles to keep hoping. At the heart of the investigation is Beverly, a determined Maine state game warden tasked with finding Valerie, who leads the search on the ground. Meanwhile, Lena, a 76-year-old birdwatcher in the Connecticut retirement community, becomes an unexpected armchair detective. Roving between these compelling narratives, a puzzle emerges, intensifying the frantic search as Valerie's disappearance may not be accidental. That one will have a bit of a different spin on it than our other mystery this week. Then in fictions, we have The Sirens by Amelia Hart. 2019. Lucy awakens from a dream to find her hands around her ex-lover's throat. Horrified, she flees to her older sister's house on the Australian coast, hoping she can help explain the strangely vivid nightmare that preceded the attack, but Jess is nowhere to be found. 1999. Jess is a lonely 16-year-old girl in a rural town in the middle of the continent. Diagnosed with a rare allergy to water, she has always felt different, until her young, charming art teacher takes an interest in her drawings, seeing a powerful maturity in them and in her that no one else has. 1800. Twin sisters Mary and Eliza have been torn from their loving father in Ireland and forced onto a convict ship bound for Australia. For their entire lives, they feared the ocean, and their mother tragically drowned when they were just girls. Yet as the boat bears them further and further from all they know, they begin to notice changes in their bodies that they can't explain, and they feel the sea beginning to call to them. So this is supposed to be a tale of family and sisterhood that traverses the ages, and obviously it has a bit of historical fiction as it takes place in that timeline as well. I guess a bit of magical realism, mysticism, what to say and what not to say there. Our next one also looks a bit into families. That would be Rabbit Moon by Jennifer Hay. 4 years after their bitter divorce, Claire and Aaron Litvek get on a phone call that no parent is prepared for. Their 22-year-old daughter Lindsay, teaching English in China during a college gap year, has been critically injured in a hit-and-run accident. At a Shanghai hospital, they wait at her bedside, hoping for the best and preparing for the worst. The accident unearths a deeper fissure in the family, the shocking event that ended the Litvicus' marriage and turned Lindsay against them. Estranged from her parents, she has confided only in her younger sister Grace, adopted as an infant from China. As Claire and Aaron struggle to get their bearings in the bustling cosmopolitan Shanghai, the newly prosperous Miracle City, they face troubling questions about Lindsay's life there, in which nothing is quite as it seems. Family secrets, drama, then a fiction more about bringing people together in an unlikely way. This is Cat's People by Tanya Guerrero. Nuria, a single-by-choice barista with a little resentment for the Crazy Cat Lady label, is a member of the Meow Yorkers, a group in Brooklyn who takes care of the neighborhood's stray cats. On her volunteering days, she starts finding post-it notes left by a secret admirer in an area where she feeds her favorite stray cat, a black cat named Cat. Like most felines, he is both curious and observant, so of course he knows who the notes are from. Nuria, however, is clueless. The story itself is told from 6 different perspectives, Nuria's being the first one, and Cat is a perspective. No, he doesn't talk to people, they don't understand him, but he understands all of them, and he's what will tie these people together as he follows around. Well, he doesn't follow her. She comes to him and he stays there. He follows the mailman. He has a fondness for the convenience store owner who's grieving the loss of his wife. Last up for the week is gonna be romance. Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. There's no such thing as a perfect guy, but Xavier Rush comes disastrously close. A gorgeous veterinarian giving Greek god vibes, all while cuddling a tiny kitten. Immediate yes. That is, until Xavier opens his mouth and proves that even sculpted gods can say the absolute wrong thing. Like, really wrong. Of course, there's nothing Samantha loves more than proving jerks wrong, unless, of course, he can admit he made a mistake. But after one incredible and seemingly endless date, Samantha is forced to admit the truth, that her family is in crisis and a kind of relationship would be impossible. Samantha begs Xavier to forget her, to remember their night together as a perfect moment, as crushing as that might be. Only no amount of distance or time is enough to forget what's between them. And the only thing better than the single perfect memory is to make a life, and even a love, worth remembering. It sounds like another good beach read, though I don't know what season it takes place in, but I think I consider a lot of her books good for that weather, that time of year. Easy to pick up and take with you. That's all for my list this week. If you do know of any other ones coming out, though, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I just hope that you were able to find one that you want to pick up, put on your TBR pile, and just come back every week for more books. I hope you're finding something great to read today, and I'll see you in the next one.